Good morning on this beautiful morning. I come to you this morning from my garden, and I just wanted to talk to you about Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is a slow rollout that you become adapted to. And that's what's happening of what we're experiencing now in today's times, where the slow adaptation, or people are adapting to the shortages they're seeing in the stores. They're getting used to seeing the blank shelves on certain areas, like, oh, okay, um, that's just a shortage for now, but it'll come back. Or maybe they're getting used to paying the higher gas prices that we weren't paying 2 years ago. So, excuse me. So it's that's what the Stockholm syndrome is, and that's exactly what we're experiencing now. However, the problems that we're running into with the shortages on them shutting down our fertilizer plants, they blew up the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 pipelines that Europe depends on. That pipeline creates the nitrogen, the ammonia, the there's another one that it creates, the petroleum. The petroleum actually makes PVC pipes, so we're going to start seeing a lot more shortages and like the plumbing issue. Like, I have been waiting for coils for my AC to be replaced for 3 months, and the AC guy just can't get it. So we're seeing a lot more shortages, and due to the hurricane that we had just seen in Florida, that's going to put a higher strain on the supply chain. And then into the winter months, into the 2023, it's going to be looking really tough. So anyway, what I wanted to mention was the Stockholm syndrome, and that if you are not paying attention, if you're not doing your research and you're not preparing ahead of time, then you are going to be caught with your pants down. You are going to be put in a very desperate situation, in a very desperate place on being able to provide for your family. And so that's why it's so important to take action right now. So, like, when all of these shortages are hitting Europe, and the inflation on their energy prices, that a lot of businesses are having to shut down because they can't afford to be able to pay the electricity bills for their businesses. That what we see happening over in Europe and in Australia, that's exactly what's coming here. I mean, that's the whole plan. The NWO is real. Okay, so it is a complete takeover that they're trying to take full control over and put us into this enslavement system. And it's going to be highly important that all of us are taking precautions and taking action to be able to prepare for this. And this is why I get so frustrated when it comes to the pastors talking about these things, because we see the mark of the beast roll out. We have a blueprint for it. We know exactly what it's going to look like. So when the excuse me, when the CBDCs get rolled out, the central bank digital currencies, they're going to put everything on that system. So word, oh, you hear my rooster. So they will tie everything to that digital currency. So you'll have your carbon taxes. They'll be able to track how much electricity and carbon that you're using according to your smart meters on your house. They will have your medical your medical records according to like your shot records and all that stuff, of whether you're going to be able to buy, sell, or travel. All Revelation talks about this, and all throughout the Bible, whenever they're talking about the end times and the mark of the beast. So we have to be preparing for this. Now, I get frustrated with these pastors because all they preach about is having faith. Having faith is very, very important. We have to have faith, but God also calls us to take action. Even he gave Pharaoh that dream that told him, prepare in the 7 years of prosperity for the 7 years of famine. And I can't quote scripture very well, but if you watch my other video that I created, I have the whole thing on scripture as far as it is biblical to prepare. Okay, so having faith is first and foremost. Even if you have everything in your preps, and I mean everything, you have a bunker, you got a bug out, you got all this other stuff. If you do not have God, then I would just rather have nothing. Because if you don't have God, you still are gonna die. But and at the same side, your soul is not going to be saved. And that's what's most important, is that your soul is saved. Because even for someone like myself, I have faith and I prep, but I still could die just like anybody else. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. So Stockholm syndrome, we don't want to adapt to what is happening. Don't adapt to what is happening. Prepare. So that way you are better ahead. You can better provide for your family. That is biblical. You have to provide for your family. And that God gives us the wisdom with ears to hear and eyes to see. So if you hear the alarm bells going off in your head, alert, 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 warning, 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 that is God. He is telling you that you have to get ready for what is about to happen. And so I want to give you hope, and I want to give you encouragement. I know that a lot of people are struggling financially. I understand. I was laid off 3 months ago in the mortgage industry, so I know what it is to be tight on money, but you can still do something. Get some garden seeds, start planting, start practicing, because we're going to be able to need those skills on being able to grow our own foods. We can't keep depending on the grocery store. You can continue to get 3 to 5 cans every time you go to the grocery store. You can get an extra bag of rice and start storing those things. Put them away. Don't tap into it. Put those things away as if you don't have anything, as if it's not even there. Pretend it's not even there. So I just want to be an encouragement that you talk to maybe some of your friends and your family members, and they're like, oh, that's never going to happen. Don't worry about it. Just have faith. Everything is going to be just fine. That is spoken from a spoiled American. Okay, a lot of people are spoiled Americans, and we have always had food at the grocery store. We have never experienced what Cuba has ever gone through, or Venezuela has gone through. These countries that are ran by a communist government, which that is what our government has become. It has become communist, and I probably will get flagged just for saying that word. But that also goes to the freedom of speech. Our freedom of speech is being taken away because we can't expressively talk about the things that are really happening in today's world. So I hope you found this video beneficial, and I hope that I have given you some sort of encouragement to, number one, be close to God, and number two, to do your preps. Make sure you're saving on food. Make sure you're learning how to filter water, and that you are just getting ready. And build community, because building community is going to be most important. Get to know your neighbors. Get to try to reconcile some of your relationships with your family members, and be around people that you can trust, because that's going to be very, very important. Although you have family members, if you can't trust those family members, then that's not going to be the greatest person to bug out with, or to even prep with, for that matter. But make sure you have people that you can trust. Make sure you're building your relationships. You can also do community gardens. You can start growing food, even if you are in an apartment, in buckets. So those type of things will be, you still will be able to survive in a grid down scenario. So again, God bless. I hope you had some sort of benefit from this video, and I will talk to you again soon.